It's a good world. Good world going bad.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. And today we're going to talk about the new 4-week rolling average record. So that's right, guys. It's been about 2 years, a little less than 2 years, but we finally hit a new record that was set June of 2022. And again, this is for the 4-week rolling average. But the thing is, and I really want to make clear on this video, the housing market right now is really a tale of two tales. First of all, we have the rich versus everyone else. And I'm going to show you guys data that really what's happening here, among other things, is the rich are still out there purchasing real estate like nothing is wrong. So the filthy rich, there's a little bit that they are manipulating median sales price. I'll show you guys that information. But in addition, guys, remember, there is the difference between new homes versus existing. There's different markets like Austin versus San Diego. There's also real, which is adjusted for inflation, versus nominal. And there's macro versus micro. And remember, you guys, really the most important thing when it comes to the housing market is understanding your micro data. And because real estate is so hyper local, you have to analyze subdivision. And so today I'm also going to show you this. Basically just a Google map. I've highlighted different subdivisions. You guys can see that I've circled subdivisions and I've put the average price per square foot that the homes have sold for in 2021, because my gauge in my housing market, which is Texas, by the way, so my housing market is flooded right now. My gauge to determine whether or not my client or myself is going to get a good deal is by comparing listing price to 2021 prices. Now, the thing is, guys, you still have to be careful because there was the 2021 was the highest run up. So depending on what part of 2021 it was, prices are going to be drastically different. But regardless, you're going to learn all of this today on Real Estate Mindset. So we're going to start by accessing the Redfin article, and I have several other data charts to show you guys, but the name of this week's Redfin article, comes out weekly, is Housing Market Update. Buying a home costs more than ever, with prices hitting all-time high and mortgage rates rising. And I want you guys to understand, part of the reason why I'm going to go into so much data on the top end of the market is because, when we look at the rules and the laws of supply and demand, when we have inventory going up, when we have demand absolutely crushed, unaffordability absolutely crushed, prices don't go up. So we really got to try to understand, why is that happening? Either way, back to the article. Just a few things here, guys, and we'll get right into the data. The median U.S. home price rose 5.2%. That's year over year this week. And mortgage rates hit their highest level since November of 2023. This is good. Prices continue to rise, partly because there are still serious buyers searching for homes. And I'm going to just cross that out and say there are still rich buyers that don't care about interest rates and inflation. And a lot of those people are using all cash, and I'll show you that data as well. Now, second paragraph, the median U.S. home sales price hit a record. So again, new record 4-week rolling average this week, sitting at $383,725. Again, that's ending April 21st. Now, that's up 5.2% from a year earlier, and that's one of the biggest jumps since October of 2022. Again, we see the average consumer priced out or sitting out of the market, but the filthy rich still playing ball. The average weekly mortgage rate hit 7.1% this week. And again, you guys remember, they're like mostly cash buyers. So again, they don't care about interest rates. This goes on. It's the highest level since November of 2023. And it became clear the Fed would keep interest rates high longer than expected. High prices and mortgage rates drove the median monthly mortgage payment to $2,843. That is up a whopping 13% year over year. Insane. All right, this next part here, guys, prices are being buoyed by the fact that inventory remains low despite recent improvements. Demand is holding up fairly well in the face of 7% plus rates, though some indicators are starting to show a slowdown. And that's because the rich people are starting to slow down their spending. The people on the bottom, like us, have already slowed down. And I'm saying like us. I'm not saying the ones that are stuck in the rat race that are spending recklessly. I'm talking to you guys. You guys are good spenders, good spending habits. You guys are rebudgeting. You guys are trying to get ahead of all of this. You're not just getting swept in the wind, right? Comment below. I want to know that I'm right. You guys are empowering yourself and you are improving. All right, let's look at their last little bit of information, which is usually the over-optimistic Redfin agent. Let's see what it says this week. My advice to sellers is to price your home fairly. All right, so at 2020 prices. Is that fair? right? What's fairly? Even though sellers are getting top dollar at the moment, they should price competitively to attract buyers from the start and avoid having to drop their prices as stubbornly high mortgage rates eat into buyers' budgets. My advice for serious buyers who can afford today's cost is to shop for your dream home and accept that this year is probably not the time to find a dream deal. So fear of missing out and overpay, it's okay because it's not the stock market, right? That's kind of what they're saying here, which I do not agree with in this market. Price growth may cool slightly in the coming months if mortgage rates stay high or rates might fall sharply. But overall, housing costs are likely to remain elevated for the foreseeable future. And again, what they're talking about is existing homes, nationwide average macro data. I could show you guys subdivisions right now without, and actually, you know what? I am. Before we end this video, I'm going to access my MLS and I'm going to show you my market, and I'm going to show you that houses are sitting on the market and price cuts are exploding. But back to the leading indicators. All right, guys, so this week's leading indicators, finally the interest rate's super high right now, sitting at 7.39%. That's the daily average. This time last year, interest rates were 80 basis points lower. Exceptional. This is good. This is exactly what we want, as a matter of fact, but we have to continue to be patient, obviously. Now, the second thing here, guys, is mortgage purchase applications are down 15%. Buying demand right now, again, overall, absolutely massacred, but the rich are still playing. In fact, they're purchasing even more or selling even more. Look at Redfin home buying demand. You guys see that right here. That is also down 9% year over year. And not only that, guys, interest is down too. When we look at Google searches for homes for sale, that's down 17% year over year. So people don't want to buy a house right now overall, right? Because of the unaffordability, the lack of fundamentals, and the lack of sustainability. Or they're priced out. Just depends on who they are. Now, looking at the long-term composite index, this is basically mortgage purchase applications. The purchase applications are that blue line down there. That orange line is interest rates. You guys see how low the composite is sitting at. So right now we're sitting at about 196. If we go back here, guys, the last time we were at 196, oh my gosh, I have to extend this. Let me go max. Okay, so last time we were at 196. Let's see here, about, my gosh, look, I got to go all the way back here. Okay, so about, let's say 1990s, so mid 1990s. That is how bad the housing market is. It's actually worse right now because right now we have more houses and more population. So there's more opportunity for business per se because there's more people. So it's actually worse, guys, than the 1990s. It's worse. Demand is crushed, right? Y'all see that? But look at this. Remember I said there's a tale of two tales. There's the rich versus everyone else. This is Freddie Mac's purchase application growth. So this is comparing year to date of 2023 to year to date 2024. So there was some growth. But I want to remind you guys what I'm saying. Okay, it's the rich people. I mean, if you're buying $1 million house, in my opinion, you're rich. Okay, just in my opinion, you're rich. If you could do that and you could pay all cash, you're rich. But look at, guys, $1 million houses. Okay, so transactions. This is only purchase applications. Transactions exceeding, not 1 million, exceeding 1 million grew 63% year over year. Now, most of the transactions in real estate are not $1 million plus. Most of the transactions are down here, probably 300 to 500,000. So that's the bulk of it. But nevertheless, you guys, that is having an impact on median sales price. If more homes that are over $1 million are now selling and less homes that are more affordable are selling, then that will impact median sales price. But look at the next tier, 900 to $1 million, 47% growth in purchase applications, 22% growth in purchase applications at 800 to 900,000, with 11% growth at 700 to 800,000. And I believe we also see that in purchase transactions, because remember, if someone's getting a loan, then it's not showing the cash transaction. So we'll look at cash transactions, but first, again, let's look at existing home sales, because that is in the gutter. There's been a tiny little baby uptick, but as of about February, guys, we're at a rate of less than 4 million transactions for the year. And again, if we go back all the way back here, first of all, look at the recession. So look at this. So during the recession, we were still higher, except right here. That's it, February of 2009. Okay, so February 2009. But you guys, think about that. The whole world was messed up, and there were still more transactions being done than right now. We got to go all the way back. Let's see how far we got to go back. Let's look at this dip right here. So about, again, 1995. You guys, we have more houses, more population, more ability to get money, and transactions are worse than the 1990s. So again, what I'm trying to point out is it's worse than the 1990s because we have more people. But again, now let me show you this because I really want to hammer down why median sales price is going up when all of the other laws of supply and demand are reversing. So to me, it's kind of almost, I know sentiment is important. It's almost impossible. And take a look at this, guys. Here's existing single family home transactions. So this isn't loans. And again, you go here and you look at the growth. Okay. So you had a 14% year over year growth in $1 million plus transactions. A lot of that was cash. And look at here, 750 to $1 million homes, you had a 5% growth. Now, when we drop under 750, okay, so 750 and to zeros to the left, look at this, guys. We had loss of growth. We had things decline. So if houses are under 750,000, they're not selling as much as houses above 750,000. Now the main group right here, okay, this accounts for the highest share of purchases, homes 250 to 500,000. That's down. The highest share is down. And again, that's more the affordable pricing is down 8.1%. And you guys can see the bulk right here. So you see 45% of the total sales are right here, 250 to 500,000. Now look at this, guys. 1 million plus exceeds the total transactions, 7.3%, but that exceeds 750 to 1 million. Crazy. Man, like, you know, if you're rich, you got a whole bunch richer is what this looks like. And if you were not rich, you got a whole bunch poorer, which is what this looks like. Now take a look at this, guys. This is percentage of home purchases made in all cash. And this is by quarter. And this is going over certain cities, certain counties. But really what I want you guys to pay attention to is Q3 of 2023 to Q4 of 2023. Essentially, you see growth in every single metro area, basically every single metro area minus Myrtle Beach, increase in all cash transactions. Look at that. You know, there's a lot of cash in the market right now that continues to stimulate it. So if we didn't have all this rich cash spending, I mean, guys, would we already be in recession? But look at some of the top states, you guys. Punta Gorda, 57.8 of the transactions were all cash. But remember, there are loan gimmicks out there that act like it's all cash, but it's really a loan. But look at Flint. Look at that, 57%. That's crazy. Detroit, how does Detroit? 51% of the transactions in Detroit are cash. Absolutely incredible. All right, guys, taking a look at this week's winners and this week's losers. All right, starting with the biggest winners, year over year increases. Number one, Anaheim. That's insane. Up 25%. Year over year, are you kidding me? Almost no new construction, you guys, in Anaheim. Almost all of the stuff in Anaheim. I mean, the median sales price is probably close to $1 million or over 700,000. Houses are so expensive in Anaheim. In fact, the only people that could really purchase in Anaheim is people that are millionaires. So, okay, maybe that makes sense. Now, number two is New Brunswick, New Jersey, 14.9%. Number three is super shocker, Detroit at 14%. We really got to dig into that a little bit more. Now, number four is West Palm Beach, usual suspect at 13.4%. San Jose, 13%. We're going to see San Jose get gutted. We also see San Jose is leading, as you can see right here, with 43% inventory growth as far as new listings. That's crazy to me. So we'll see that slow down. Now, look at the losing metros. So San Antonio has been kicked off of this and replaced. Okay, so we've replaced San Antonio with Austin. All Texas metro areas. Remember why I said Texas has so much inventory and it's not even all reported. That's why you're seeing Texas melt down before anywhere else. And that's also why you're starting to see Florida have problems. But you guys, Austin is sitting at negative 0.9%. And according to them, that is the only top 50 metro area on the year-over-year price decline list. Now, even then, say you're in Anaheim, it doesn't mean that every house in Anaheim is up for sale for 20% year-over-year growth. It doesn't mean that. Remember, guys, all we're looking at is macro data. Even when we go like to city, it's still macro. You have to go hyper local because every subdivision is different. And so let me show you, if you are on the sideline, if you're getting impatient, or if you just really want to track your market, all you have to do is really get a map, I'm going to show you guys. Okay, you get a map like this, and first thing you do is you start to circle the subdivisions you want to watch. And so that's what I did here, you guys. So you can tell that pretty much every highlighted area is an individual subdivision. And because it's an individual subdivision, the value works differently, meaning you're going to get different price per square foot depending on things like amenities and location and things of that nature. So first thing is, again, I've highlighted basically the subdivisions. Now, after that, you guys, I accessed my local MLS and I did a subdivision review and analysis going back to 2021 on each of those subdivisions. So again, when we look here, and this is an example, okay, so for an example, let's zoom in over here. So we have one subdivision, you guys, that in 2021, again, this is hypothetical, but we have one subdivision right here in 2021 that the average houses were selling for $139. Take a look at the subdivision right next to it. You guys see that right there? So that subdivision right next to it is selling for $160 a square foot back in 2021. But the advantage of doing stuff like this, guys, is it gives you a head start on comparables that come to the market. So say, for example, I was watching this that I wanted to live in this subdivision right here. I would wait for listings to come out, and any listing that came out that was well under $128 a square foot, I know to spend time investigating. Okay. So again, this is just a great way. And even if you're a realtor, this is especially great. You can really cut out all the BS and hone in on which comps and which homes are selling for under market value. Because what we need to be doing right now, you guys, is we need to be driving the prices down, not up. So if you don't have access to the MLS, all you're going to have to do is have a realtor go to the MLS just like this. Okay. You can pull up a map right here. You can zoom into the areas that you want an analysis on. And again, you zoom into the subdivisions and you start doing an analysis. You guys should know how to do the analysis. Again, I'm pulling all of the comps from 2021, and then I'm analyzing those comps and figuring out what the median and average square foot is. This is, again, it's a great way. Now, by doing that, let me show you what I could do. So now I can just come back to MLS or Zillow or whatever you're using. I can put the city that I'm watching, for example, Kingwood, which is the map that I just showed you. Okay, so it shows that there are 88 active listings in Kingwood. Let me show you guys the results. And by the way, that's really good inventory. So once I got the results, you guys, a lot of times what I like to do is I like to organize it by price per square foot from low to high. So let me do that now. And you guys can see right away, remember when I first started doing these videos in Kingwood, I couldn't find barely any homes at $120 a square foot. And right now, you guys, during spring and summer home buying season, everything's going up like crazy, right? But yet I have 14 houses that are under market value. Okay, depending on which time you're looking at, I'm talking about 2021. So in Kingwood, the average was about $140 a square foot. So a lot of those first few houses, you guys, allows me the opportunity to purchase a home with wedge potentially. Okay, and that's really what I'm saying. So I have all these options now. Again, if I click this one, for example, let me click this first comp right here. Okay, first of all, you guys see that the subdivision is right here, King Manor. Okay, so Kings Manor. So I know that comp is in Kings Manor. And so when I go over here back to my map that I made, I know Kings Manor is selling for $138 a square foot back in 2021 because that subdivision is Kings Manor. And so my homework is already done. I already have the value set. So I don't know if you guys want to do that. I think it's pretty cool. Just trying to give you guys more option. Regardless, you guys, let's go into analyzing and visualizing the data. So here is our median sales price. I can't believe we hit that in 1 week. Remember I warned you guys last week that we might hit a new record. I didn't think it would be 1 week before we hit it because that means median sales price went up by over $1,000 week over week. So again, high end of the housing market is selling, not the low end. So this macro data that you're looking at is affected. But I will point out, look at the trajectory. That trajectory is scary. So again, don't have anxiety. Don't get overwhelmed unless you're a filthy rich person shopping for $1 million houses. Then yes, you can get worried, do whatever you want. But if you're like me, if you're in the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 price point, let the rich spend their money and waste it. Who cares? Let the median size houses just sit and collect dust and have those sellers continue to price cut. Because on top of this, don't forget, we have historical high price cuts as well. Just not necessarily at those $1 million houses, but who cares? As long as we get what we want as middle class and lower class, who cares? We're not rich. But regardless, guys, here's what's so unhealthy, 2021 to right now. And that's again, I want to point out how crazy 2021 was. Because remember, I said I'm going 2021 prices, but look at, the second half of the year of 2021, prices were elevated. The beginning half of 2021, prices were lower. So it really depends on what time in 2021. But again, that's why I'm using the averages or medians of 2021 in my housing market. Will this same strategy work in San Diego or Anaheim? Maybe not, but it does work in my market. Now, here's another set of data that kind of suggests that actually, yeah, more $1 million houses are being listed, because look at the median asking price and the trajectory that's going up. I mean, maybe the rich are starting to liquidate their houses. Maybe we're talking about people that were in retirement age. They purchased a home for $500,000 5 years ago. It's now worth $1.2 million. So that could be what we're saying. But again, the trajectory of median asking price is basically going parabolic right now. It's going out of control right now. But it's so important that you understand which price tiers that's affecting. Some metros, maybe all price tiers. Other metros, maybe only the expensive ones. You have to understand what's going on in your market. But what I can tell you is in every single market, if you're getting a mortgage, home buying housing payments are exploding so much so that it is up 12.6% year over year. And I'm going to tell you, 2023, it was already overwhelmingly unaffordable. So the overwhelming unaffordability is even worse this year. So, which is good. We need things to calm down. It's not good if you're out buying and you can't wait, obviously, but it's huge, guys. And again, I just go back to look at the gap from 2021 to right now. 2021, the average mortgage payment was about $1,700. About $1,700. That's it. So from $1,700, a few years later, it goes to $2,800. This is why patience is a virtue. It is a virtue. This is why you don't use emotions purchasing real estate. It is a huge financial transaction that you can't just walk away from. If you walk away, you destroy your credit. I mean, I walked away. I destroyed my credit. I couldn't do anything for 9 to 10 years. I don't want it to happen to you. Make sure you can afford your home. So another indication that pending sales are down. So demand is getting crippled. Just again, not the rich demand. You guys, we have a new 4-year record low for this time of year. We're down 3.8%. Okay. And that's transactions. Okay. That's pending sales. So that looks at even cash offers. So 3.8% down, less sales in 2024. Now, here's what I am concerned about. Okay, so even though this is saying new listings are up 10% year over year, that's good. That's measuring here to here. We are still down. Okay, we're still down from 2022 and 2021. Now, granted, it was a hot home buying season. So we were still in that like piping hot home buying season. Everyone wanted to sell their house and buy another house. So I understand it. But I am pointing out that we have less new homes coming into the market than we did in 2021 and in 2022. So keep your eyes on that. I've been watching that. I want to make sure that, we continue to see that new listing growth. But again, 10% year over year, beautiful. That's what we want. Now, this is also something incredibly, incredibly important. And this is basically stalled out. And I don't like that. Now, this is active listings of homes for sale. So that's up 10% as well. So that's up 10%. Year over year. In fact, you guys, we have a new 4-year record. So I'm showing you demand is like 4-year horrible. We have a 4-year record of inventory and prices are exploding. There's more to the story and the details. I hope you guys are seeing that. But nevertheless, you guys, it has stalled out. Look at that. Okay. Now, as I've been saying, okay, and I'm projecting here, when we hit this type of active inventory up here, which we did in 2022, I suspect because how heavily prices are propped up by lack of inventory, I think if we sustain at that 900 to 1 million active units, I think we will have price discovery. And in most all metro areas, prices will go down. Now, obviously that will be enhanced by recession and unemployment, but absent that recession, absent the unemployment, I think we need 900 to 1 million sustained. Right now it's showing 840. So I think we're about 150 off. I think we're right around 100,000 off. That's it. And another 4-week record of supply. Again, another 4-year record of months of supply. Again, you guys, but this is for this time of year. We're looking at times of year, right? Year over year over year over year. So this is a new 4-year over year over year over year record sitting at 3.2 months. Again, though, this has stalled. Better to stall during spring and summer home buying season than go down. Now, we may see this actually go up any day now. I suspect it might because, again, look at the interest rates. Look at the unaffordability. It's so toxic to purchase right now. I mean, and this is like the smoking gun, right? So everyone's like, oh my God, prices are going up, prices are going up. But this is our smoking gun right here. Okay, listings, and this is just during this period of time, they had another 6% of total listings have price cuts. This is so abnormal. You guys, this time of year, again, even last year when things were like crazy right now was at about 4.3%. But it's normally the last market, look at this, 1 to 2% price cuts. Right now it's 6%. It's, again, we're not necessarily seeing the price cuts in median sales price because potentially that's being replaced by those high-end houses. But nevertheless, look at the price cuts. Look at the price cuts. If you just want to look at one form to get an idea of like how bad it is out there, look at this one. Price cuts massively higher than any other time in the last 4 years during this time period. Freaking nuts. Thank God that the interest rates are high. Another 4-year record, guys. Another 4-year record. Home buying demand. That's down 9% year over year. Again, we're right here. Another 4-year low. We literally have all of the things for supply and demand to have more pressure on prices going down. We have everything. But again, this is so local. And there's a few things, guys. Median sales price is not a good way to determine value. It's a macro way of looking at value. What we really want to do to understand value is subdivision analysis, because we understand that appraisals work like this. You take your subject property here and you get 1, 2, 3 sold homes in the same subdivision, and you calculate value that way. And you calculate value by doing deductions, additions, or subtractions to the comparing the characteristics. So you see that right here. So you start with your gross sales price, and then after your adjustments, you get your net. And then usually the 3 comps are added and then divided, and you get your value. So it's not median sales price. Again, median sales price is an indication of what's going on, but we still have to even look into that. So right now, you guys, some subdivisions are already crashing, and some subdivisions are cracking, and some subdivisions are flourishing. The main thing is you got to understand what's going on with you, and don't feel bad if you're renting right now. The important thing is renting with a purpose. If you're renting, increase your purchasing power, your credit, your income, your assets, and start doing these maps and figuring out what did homes sell for in 2021 and what do I want as a consumer. You have to define that, because agents, loan officers, anyone in this industry will not. They will define your home purchase transaction as how much commission am I going to make? So don't let them do that. Now, other than that, guys, I really hope you valued this. I have the home buying course if you want to learn how to buy. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys already know I wish you luck. Slow your roll, be patient, and I hope you win.